Hello everyone and welcome to another video on Ethan and Ale 2. Today we are watching episode 4 of Eradication Live Season 3, the season that I am on. I made videos on the first 3 episodes. I'm assuming if you're watching episode 4 you've probably seen those. Also so sorry, I've got all my kittens in the background screaming. But yeah, I'm a couple days late on this one, but it is just another reflection, review, and reaction of the episodes. We don't need to dilly-dally for too long, so we will just get right into it.
We are going to do something that we haven't done in Eradication before. Oh my god, so many twists. Oh, this is so fun.
I'm going to move myself to the bottom again.
Normally, this is when you would get your faction requirement for the next round. But I'm going to be a little bit nice to y'all and let y'all have a little bit of a chit-chat time. This is going to be a socialization round, so you will not know what the faction requirements are yet. They will be coming soon, though. But if you feel like you need to have a conversation with someone about some previous rounds, now might be the time to do so. Access is granted to all 4 rooms. There is a room limit of 3 per room. However, you may, if you want, also stay in the courtyard, where there will not be a room limit. You have to return it to this courtyard in 5 minutes, though. Your time starts now.
Holy moly. Anyone want to just chat here? No, I think it would be silly to not take advantage of the no room limit. We're not gonna...
So yeah, as I'm saying here, in this round, if you stayed in the courtyard, there was no room limit. So I was trying to push that we would be silly to not use it because I didn't want people to have the opportunity to not like talk behind my back, but I want to know what everyone's saying. I don't want people going off into different rooms while we have the opportunity. If we can all stay together. Not that I was that worried that people were secretly scheming against me. But it's just a little extra insurance. Like, hey, why don't we just all sit here? Like a little open forum. Can't really hide anything if everyone's there. So that's kind of what I was pushing for.
Big room. Hannah and Hudson, I have not met you yet. It has just been circumstantial. There's obviously no like ill will or anything. Exactly. But I am. Hi, my name is Ethan. Nice
Hello.
to meet you.
Hi Ethan, I'm Hannah.
I am Hudson.
Yeah, I forgot that I hadn't even met Hannah or Hudson at this point. I still don't think I had met. Had I met Taylor? I thought I had, but I may not have, and I feel bad that I did not say hi to Taylor there. Did I? I must have talked. I don't actually know.
Once again, hello, Modern. I really appreciate you for going through with it, even though that we went to the riot anyways. I really appreciate that, and I'm glad that we like got safe really early. I was screaming when I said that.
I tried the challenge on the side, like while they were doing it. My cam fell immediately, so I am so glad that I did that like last minute clutch. Cause oh my god.
Oh, is it just us?
It's just you and me.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I feel like we've been like not attached yet, but maybe now
I
we
was
could
gonna
try and-
say.
Let's get it attached. I mean,
Okay.
who are you like good with?
I feel too attached to certain people, so I'm gonna like try to drift away from Miles this round.
Okay.
And I feel like, based on what I know, like you and Hudson seem kind of close, so
Yeah,
I
from
think
this early rounds.
So, from what I am gathering, and I mean it's funny saying this because I was there, but like it's a lot different when you're watching it back versus when you're there in the moment. Like there's so much you don't know. Like obviously I wouldn't know what's happening in this conversation, but in terms of like where the season is right here, it really does feel like an almost cold war between like 2 fighting duos of like Dante and Hudson on one side and Noah and Miles on another side. And I think it comes to a head this episode. But it's like I say it's a cold war because I don't feel like it is ever like a direct battle. At least so far. Like it's been a lot of Noah saying that he recognizes Dante and Hudson are a pair, and then it's some other people on the other side recognizing that Noah and Miles are a pair, which leaves me in an okay spot at least where I'm not being targeted. However, that is a more passive spot, so you need to be careful and make sure that you're not just doing nothing, because it is really easy to just take your safety and then just be like, oh, cool, and relax. But when you're relaxing because you're safe, you're not doing stuff to advance your game, and it's also not gonna be that respectable in front of a jury. So like, it's great for me that there are like, well, it's not actually great for me because I am aligned with Noah and Miles, so I don't want them being targeted necessarily. But it's great that they're being targeted over me, but I can't be too comfortable.
That was our first round that we didn't link up.
Like, it's literally just so hard. Like, I was trying to balance it, and it's like, I can't. Oh my god. But I'm so glad we're safe. I'm gonna try, like, I'm good with you in my book, so I'm gonna take this chance to try and talk to other people, so let's see what happens.
I just wanted to reaffirm, thank you so much.
Yeah, I've lost a lot of like I said, I lost a lot of people that I've worked with, so I'm very, like, I want to talk to more people. BC, I don't think I really talked to you either.
I came in here just to say that, Ethan Mel. I watch your content, man. That's weird, man.
Oh, thank you.
That's weird. I want to point out that, like, I'm a freak.
So up to this point now, I believe it's VC, Miles, Noah, and Maximo that all said that they knew me. After the fact, I found out that Jonah knew who I was as well, but I never talked to Jonah. But it was at this point, as I was saying, I lost, my number one in back-to-back episodes. I lost Maximo, and then I lost Jess in the last episode. So I really was losing numbers. And I wasn't in a spot where I was wanting to flip, but rather recruit. And VC seemed like a free agent. And especially VC saying that he watches my stuff is a blessing and a curse. Because it inherently has the potential to draw us together and work in the game. It's just common ground. But on the flip side, it meant that somebody that I wasn't working at this point, because again, at this point, I wasn't sure 100%, but I was pretty sure the only people that knew who I was were the people I was working with. But VC, knowing who I was and also saying it, it now meant that someone I wasn't working with knew who I was and like just knows how much I knew about social strategy games. So on one side, I was like, this is good in a sense if I can contain it. If I can bring VC in and work with that, that will be good. But otherwise, VC has to he becomes a giant thorn in my side. He has the potential to become a giant thorn in my side. So a lot is dependent on what happens between me and VC.
Like, it's free real estate over here. It's a VC thing, free real estate.
No, and this is the time to talk because we don't know what the number is. The number could be.
There's a reason why they're doing this right now. They're throwing.
I know.
Well, if you can include me, because I don't really.
Oh, absolutely.
Honestly, I was feeling stressed out in the beginning, so I was trying to help. Oh, hey.
Hey,
Modern, what's good?
What's good?
Yeah, I hope I'm not entering anything.
That was kind of funny.
Just talking about how it's bad. What are you thinking moving forward?
My gut is saying it's going to be an auto elim where it's going to be 2 factions of 4 and the 9th person goes. So we would really just need 1 more, but
VC. Then is it possible we could get VC and then us 4?
Let me run the courtyard because everybody else is there. We're the only ones in a separate
Yeah,
room.
let's try to like. Okay.
Okay.
If you want a number that's going to be. Oh wait, this is period over.
Basically, I think everyone's here. It's not over, but
Yeah.
Oh,
we're all
hey.
just gonna
Is it,
talk
oh, it's not
a
over.
little open floor conversation.
What do we miss?
We were like, and I'm not just hiding this. We were just doing introductions. 4 of us hadn't met before.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I'm just so curious as to what the number is going to be.
I feel like I know what it's gonna be.
2 of 4.
Do we have any guesses as to what it is?
I think
Two
it's
of
gonna
four and
be
an
one
auto
group of
roll.
7 or one group of 6.
Ooh, 1 of 7, 1 of 6. Noah's saying 2 of 4. We're gonna go ahead and actually reveal what it is. You must create, and it's a shame to say no one got it correct. One faction,
Oh,
5.
Oh.
that is tricky.
Access is granted to 2 rooms. There is no room limit for this. So, back to good old classic live games. And you have to return to this courtyard in 5 minutes. Your time starts now.
I don't like this.
Oh man.
I don't like this.
This is crazy.
Okay, so I'll let you know. So I was starting to say something there. I was considering, because at that point, I had thought that 4 people had left, leaving just 5. So I was just gonna float the idea out there of maybe 5 people, which is why I started with But I realized 2 things, almost in an instant. One, there are 6 people in here, so immediately that would not work. And second, and most importantly, I realized that I wanted nothing to do with forming the group. And I didn't want to so there are 9 people, and you're forming one faction of 5. So that's 4 people that will be left out and going into the riot. When you are if I'm putting out there a faction of 5 people, that the chances of it like really working when I haven't worked with a lot of these people probably aren't that high. But it also is just basically telling 4 people that you don't value them. Like if I were to sit, like if everyone's in this room and I was like, okay, let's go Miles, Dante, Hana, Hudson, myself, just because that's the first 5. Like it's telling Taylor, VC, Noah, and whoever else, Modern, that I don't value them and that I don't want to work with them. So instantly I'm like, I don't want to be putting myself in a spot where I'm forming them. And at the same time, because it is one faction of 5, that means that at least, at a minimum, 4 people are going into the riot. Only 1 person goes home. I'm pretty confident in those odds where I'm not worried about going into the riot, and I don't want to put 4 names and just be like, hey, sorry, I don't want to work with you. So I really do feel like at this spot, it was in my best interest to not say anything. Now, if there were 5 people, including myself, like a solid 5 that I really wanted to work with, maybe I push hard for that. But here, I'm actually going to go back just when we had everyone because it's going to be easier. There were 7 people that I wanted to work with. I was still holding out hope that I could work with Taylor and Hana through the Jess connection, although Jess leaving meant that it's only my word that Jess said stuff like that, and even then, I don't know if that's going to work. But they were 2 people that I didn't want to burn. I was not looking for my first interaction with them to be tossing them aside. So I wanted to work with Hana and Taylor. I also was already working with VC and Miles. Also, I had a little bit of a, not really, but I had at least had game talks with Modern, and I wanted Modern in there. That's already 5 people. And you add in VC as someone who I'm potentially wanting to rope in. That's 6. Add me, that's 7. There are just too many people at this point that it was not going to be worth me making cuts and having to just publicly pick 5. I know I just spent a long time talking about this, but this is a crazy round. So I think also, sorry, again, I'm just talking, because this is my first org I had ever done, or first anything like this, I definitely was playing more passive at points where I could have gone, like I could have taken a more leader-esque stand at this point, but I looked at the risks, I looked at the rewards, and I chose the more passive route, and I don't know if that is the correct decision, but I get why I did it. I'll unpause now and we can actually watch. Oh yeah.
This is crazy.
So like, it's been like 10 minutes, I swear. But I just remember that moment distinctly where I start to say something and then I just decide not to and just go, this is crazy.
I don't like it.
This is crazy.
You guys want to be a 5 right here? Like,
There's 6
There
of
are
us.
6 of us.
Exactly what I thought, Taylor. I thought there were 5 of us here, but there weren't.
This is crazy.
do you guys want to be a 5 right here? Like,
There's 6
There
of
are
us.
6 of us here.
If we all decide on like a group of 5 together, I don't know if you guys had any more. So I was gone for like 30 seconds. But is it possible that I could be in it? I've been in 3 in a row. Please, not a 4th, please. I beg. I will get on my knees if you need me to. I will get on my knees.
I've been keeping track of who's been in factions with whom throughout this entire thing. So it's like, I know which one of y'all have been losing your buddies, and I feel for you. But like, I'm just gonna put it out there. There's already a pretty solid 4 that have stuck with each other throughout this, and all I know is I'm not within that. So us remaining 5,
I think more than 5 of us just nodded our head.
I have no idea what Hana's talking about at this point. Because, so like when Hana says that, I'm like, oh yeah, like there is a group of like people. Like maybe it wasn't 4, but like you got your Hudsons, your Dantes, and then I was like, wait a second, like everybody just nodded. Am I the one she's talking about? And I think Hana is referring to Noah, Miles, myself, and Modern, which was kind of incorrect, which is why I didn't recognize it at first. But I'm just gonna play it.
Yeah. Well, whatever it is, I'm in. I beg. I will get on my knees. I'm in. Whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
To propose a faction.
Okay.
Me, Ethan, Taylor, Noah, Modern.
Oh, come on.
Okay, I probably should have said something here and probably been like, yeah, but I didn't want to because again, I also like it's, you know, Miles is putting out the faction, so I'm not getting that on me, but VC was just like publicly begging like, oh please put me in the faction. Miles doesn't put him in there. If I'm trying to pull VC in afterwards, I don't want to be like, yeah, let's run with this one, where we cast VC aside again. Like, the more times that I get put in a faction and VC gets thrown in the riot, he's never going to want to work with me. So, like, for my own safety, yeah, I could have probably been like, yeah, Miles, let's do this. It just didn't, I didn't want to say that. And I wasn't worried about going into the riot very much. Like, yeah, there is a chance that I go into the riot and I go home, but there's at a minimum 4 people going in there. Like, I'm not too nervous about my odds. Which is why I'm playing this round so passively, just because I didn't want to shoot myself in the foot for future rounds. I was confident that I could get by this round.
Come on, man.
I mean, how do you guys feel about
I
that?
trust these people because they've been very loyal with people, and I know that, like, I don't think they have a number 1 with the other 4 people, and I
Well,
would like to
here's
with that.
my take on that. I think Hana over here, Miles, is associating you and I together because we have been in factions together every once in a while, and I'll openly admit when it came to the 5 factions of 2, it was because of room limits. We both know that.
I have a counter proposal. Why not like make? So who's been in the most riots? Like that's who I'm like honestly. So okay.
So
How about this? How is this? I think it's.
For the record, everyone had been into at least one. Hana, Dante. So myself, Miles, and Noah, we had only been in one riot. Hana, Dante, Modern, Hudson, and Taylor had all been in 2, and VC had been in all 3 riots so far.
To be completely fair.
So I hated that idea when he said whoever's been in the least amount of riots. Definitely was not a big fan of that idea. Also, whoops. Also, I'm sorry if it's so loud. I think I'm blowing out my mic a lot. I'll turn it down a tiny bit. Oh, hello there. While we wait for my computer monitor to turn back on. You guys could say hello to Gravy. This is Gravy. Alright. My computer turned back on. Went along.
Well, actually, no. Never mind. I'm coming up on blank. We have one. I'm rushing mine.
I'm gonna jump in and say, like, obviously, like, Dante had my back the last time because we met up and I feel like we were last there together. After VC, when we talked initially, you were like, we were gonna be buddies, and then you kind of went rogue and went with Modern. So I'm glad I found Dante, or I kind of felt like I was gonna be screwed. And then I'm hearing that you're also throwing the girls under the bus from the riot beforehand.
I'm loving
That
this.
we kicked you out when you just kind of left. So I don't.
I want to point out this counterpoint. You said that I wasn't going to be a part of it, and for the modern thing, you were muted. I told you.
Never said that. Just saying, clarifying. Jess came in because I was the second one in the room, and then Jess came in and suggested it. And because there's only now 2 girls left in the game,
Okay.
it was a thing. But
We have 1 minute. We have 1 minute. I'm going.
Yeah,
to
we have 1 minute.
Guys, I'm gonna propose my faction with Modern, Taylor, Ethan, Noah, and that's what I'm doing.
I want to say no. I want to say
okay.
Me, Modern, Hudson, Ethan, and Hannah.
At this point, I'm feeling good. My strategy's working perfectly. I'm staying silent. Everyone is including me in their factions. I mean, outside of, like, the talk earlier about 4 people, but, like, Miles is including me. VC is including me. I'm sitting back. I'm getting no disdain, no blood on my hands. I'm sitting pretty. This round is going exactly as I want for the first time since the first round. It's perfect.
How about that?
Alright, hear me out. Me, Hudson, BC, Taylor, and Dante.
No, that's not.
Until then, it was going so good for me. I was poised perfectly. We had been in here for like 5 minutes, and for the first 4 minutes and 17 seconds, everything was going great. People were taking shots at each other. Everyone was getting mad at one another. And it was so good. And then Hana drops the bomb of a new 5 to make.
Not good. I think we should do Miles, Ethan, Taylor, Modern, Noah. Got that down? Okay.
I don't think.
What did you even
Hana,
I
Hudson,
didn't
BC,
hear
Taylor,
you say.
Dante.
I'm gonna go with Hannah. Hannah.
Taylor, Dante, I know you guys got it. Me and Hudson, we got it. BC,
Hannah,
we need
I
to
got
be
you.
that 5th, because I know you got it.
I got you. I got you.
Hana,
Hannah,
Hudson, BC, Taylor, Dante.
Ethan, Modern, Taylor, Miles, Noah. Ethan, Modern, Taylor, Miles, Noah. Ethan, Modern, Miles, Taylor.
Hannah, please say it again. Please say it again.
Hana, Hudson, BC, Taylor, Dante.
I'm down. I'm down.
Hannah,
Miles, Ethan, Taylor,
Hudson,
Miles, Ethan, Taylor,
BC,
Modern, Noah.
Taylor, Dante.
I'm down. Okay.
You have 1 minute to submit your factions.
Okay.
That time starts now.
Okay, so I wrote down Miles, Ethan, Taylor, Modern, Noah.
I wrote down VC, Hannah, Hudson, Taylor, Dante.
Well, that's
Taylor,
what I got as well.
Hudson, and VC, this is Noah speaking. I have no ill will, whichever you decide, but Hana, I am feeling a little bit like I'm in your radar here with this little campaign.
I mean, I want to point out that Miles has like been outwardly trying to send me back again.
It's
And
nothing against you. I just think
Nothing
I know that, yeah, I'm just thinking logically. I know that these people that I said would probably stick with us. And
Hey, DC, you and I are good. I don't
these people
wanna
have
sit
been
here.
nothing but, like, I mean, a lot of people have been honest.
Yeah,
In
I've
my
been
opinion, I see
I've
Dante
been
and Hudson together, and I think they just strategized this last round to each pick one person. Dante with Taylor and Hudson with Anna, and that's exactly what happened. That's why I left them out. Anna
I'm
and
learning so much here. This is great.
Not at all.
Dante and Hudson, I've seen them in 2 calls together, or multiple
not
calls
gonna
together.
lie,
Them
Time
two.
It
is
happened.
up. Conversation can still continue, but all factions are now in. Give me
I'm
some
ready to go
time
in.
to tabulate.
Yeah, like I said, if I wasn't put in, I was ready to go. If I wasn't put in a faction, I was ready to go in the riot. Like I wasn't. I wasn't too like upset about it. It would have been great to be in a faction. Another point that I didn't mention earlier. Sorry, there are so many points that I have to talk about this round. This round is like very important. But another thing that, and like I know that I'm saying all of this in like retrospect, and I am trying to like, I am trying to share my thoughts of what I was feeling in the moment as well as reflecting on what I can see now. So I'm not trying to, I'm blanking on the word. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I am trying to be as authentic as I was when I was playing. Like I am trying to tell you what I was thinking at that time, not what I thought 2 days later afterwards. Like I'm trying to keep this as in this is what I was thinking in the moment, and then this is how I think that works now that I see it in retrospect. Like I'm not just like putting things where it's like, oh, like I did not realize in this round that it was basically a 4v4, whoever gets VC has the numbers, because I didn't recognize that Modern was being tied with our side. Modern was kind of a like floating, and I mean that in a good way. Like Modern is playing very well, but I didn't realize that what was being perceived, at least by the other side, or like at least as a viewer now, is that it was 4 with Hannah, Hudson, Dante, and Taylor versus 4, myself, Miles, Modern, and Noah. And it's whoever gets VC gets the 5. So looking back, I wish I knew that. Obviously, in that moment, I didn't realize that was what was happening. But another thing that I meant to say earlier is that another reason that I wasn't upset with going into the riot is that like I knew that I hadn't been in that many riots, and you already saw VC trying to use that at one point, saying like whoever's been in the most amount of riots should be safe. Like we've been in too many times. It was not worth fighting. Like it was not. I didn't find it worth it to like cling to any desperate hope of finding a faction just so I didn't have to go into the riot. I think by not going into the riot, especially in this season where it's like people are going in every, like there's a lot of people going in every time. Like these aren't just like 2-person riots. Like we've had a 7-person riot, we had 1 2-person riot, and then a 10-person riot. And then this is going to be a 4-person riot. Like people are going in a lot, and I didn't want to not go into any. Not because, I mean, I think riots are kind of fun, but I think I'm like stumbling over my words here because it's just the riot. You obviously don't want to go in, but it's not bad for your game if you go in and survive. Like if I say that I survive this round and VC goes into another riot, like I in a faction, VC goes into a riot. That is 4 factions that VC has gone in, and I've only gone in 1. And that is something that they can take and be like, he's only been in 1 riot. Like, he's just floating through this game. Let's go for him. Whereas if I go in now and I come out, I'm on an equal playing field with everybody. People can't use the riot argument anymore because I've been in the same amount of riots as them. So going into the riot is not a bad thing. And that's another reason as to why I wasn't too worried. Like, if I'm ever going to go into a riot, and I'd rather go into one where there's 4 people, chances are I'm going to come back, and it equalizes, like, it takes away a talking point as a reason to get me out in the future, because now I have been in more riots. That was a whole lot at once. I'm sorry if that didn't make sense. There is a lot that goes on during this round, which is why I've spoken so much already.
I don't wish
know
any
what?
ill will upon any of you guys. I hope you
Agreed.
guys get that.
Neither
Like,
do
whenever
I,
you're like
and
in my way, but like
yeah.
I can see how the cards are falling here, and I know you can too. So that I'm just saying.
And
I will
I can say vice versa. I
Transparency is
see other
key.
people.
And I do want to apologize to Taylor real quick. I do apologize for saying that the girls took me out. I felt very hurt personally because, like, you know, I've been keep getting tossed to the wolves, and it feels like I'm not wanted in this game. So
No, I
do want to.
and I apologize for airing the dirty laundry right here. I feel like we needed to just to kind of continue to move forward. So like,
I agree.
It's important to reach an understanding, and I do want to genuinely say this. I could not hear you whenever you said the alliance with, or not alliance, whatever it's called, the faction of two, whatever it's called, right? I genuinely didn't hear you, and I thought you just left randomly.
I'm blaming my Wi-Fi. Honestly, she's out to get me tonight. So.
I think she's out to get you.
Next round, given these people survive, I do want to publicly say I want to touch base with Hudson and VC soon.
Gotcha.
We have results in. That was fun, wasn't it?
That was
I have the results of whatever that was. If there was no faction made, all 9 of you will enter the riot.
We're used to it.
However,
Monster's
a
ready
faction,
for it.
a faction was successfully created amongst that. That consists of Taylor, Hana, Dante, for the first time, BC, and Hudson. That means we have a riot consisting of Animail, Noah, Miles, and Modern. Everyone else, you can go ahead and turn off your cameras or give a confessional. Everyone who is in the riot, grab a single red solo cup and your ping pong ball. In this riot, we have Animail, Modern, Noah, and Miles. This competition is called on the flip side, and here's how it works. You have a red solo cup and a ping pong ball. This competition will go one at a time, and it will go in rounds. Each round, all of you will take your own turn to try and have your ping pong ball on the opposite end of the cup and flip it to land inside of the cup. If you make it, then you are safe for that round. And if anyone else drops, you are safe from the entire riot. Only one person drops in a single round, that person is eradicated. If more than one person drops, they will still have to compete in the riot while everyone who got it successfully will be safe. We are going to now have each of the players.
This was a little tougher than it looked because you would flip the cup and the ball would land in, but it would bounce out. Like, it was easy to get it in the cup, but having it stay in the cup was the challenge.
Just hold your red solo cup, put your ping pong ball inside of it.
My
Just
bowels
like a
roll
plastic
around
drinking
all
cup.
over the floor. 1 second, trying to find them.
Okay, Noah. We will start with alphabetical order, which means that goes Ethanimail, then Modern, then Miles, then Noah.
I was totally cool with going first. Like, it was a little nerve-wracking, obviously. However, I also liked the idea of setting the pace, as long as I didn't miss.
Ethanimail, whenever you're ready, take your turn. Ethanimail got it in the cup.
I did get it in, so I was happy that I went first. It was kind of hard to see with the lighting, but it did go in, I promise.
If someone misses, he is safe. Next up is going to be Modern. Modern, go for it. That doesn't count.
So at this point, I don't realize this. At this point, because I've been working with Noah and Miles more, I was hoping that Modern got out here. However, like, knowing what I know now, like, up to these episodes, it's actually so much better for me if one of Miles or Noah goes here. But in that moment, Modern was balancing the ping pong ball on his cup, and it fell off. And you saw me, I was like, I wonder if that counts. Like, I want it to count. Because it guarantees that I'm safe. But they said that didn't count, and that was fine. But yeah, so at this point, I was rooting for Modern to lose. However, that's not actually what's good for me, and I didn't realize that at the time.
Modern got it. It's now on Miles. Miles, go for it. Miles got it. Noah
I found it.
has found it. So Noah, if you miss this, you're eradicated.
So, talking through this, I leave it resting.
Leave it
and
on
have
top.
to catch
And you
it.
have to flip it into the cup with one hand. One hand.
I can't even balance it with one. Good
One
lord.
hand.
It's taking a while.
3, 2, 1, go. I bounced out. Does that count?
Noah has been. Did it drop? It did.
It bounced out.
Yeah. So Noah, unfortunately, I'm so sorry. You have been eradicated. Congratulations.
So yeah, Noah, like I said, the problem isn't getting it in the cup. It's having it stay in the cup, and Noah's bounced out. Which now means that is 3 rounds in a row that I'm losing an ally. My initial group of 5. That round when I was safe and it was beautiful. It was myself, Miles, Noah, Maximo, and Jess. It is now only myself and Miles. After that is 3 in a row. 3 rounds in a row since that first faction, and they have been picked off like flies. I'm losing all of my numbers here, and it's tough, and they're all going pre-jury. Which means that it's such an uphill battle.
Congratulations, Ethanimel, Modern, and Miles for getting it in. Noah, do you have any last words for us? It was such a pleasure to have you as a sequester player on.
Listen, I mean, we don't talk about Bruno up in here. But I mean, I like all of you. It's hard, and especially since like this is the farthest I've ever made it, minis included. Ew. But like I mentioned to a few of you, my bestie surprised me for 7 hours, driving all the way here. And he's upstairs, and he threw pizza at me, so I'm gonna go upstairs and throw that pizza back. Luck to all of y'all. Period.
Noah, you are actually the first member of the final 9 to be eliminated. You're not on the jury, so you can go ahead and leave.
That was so mean.
This is stressful. This is more stressful than I thought it was gonna be. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, it is so freaking stressful. You have no idea. But I've done an okay job of playing it cool so far. But definitely at this point, I'm like, all right, I have lost all of my numbers, basically.
God, I'm sweating in places I didn't know could sweat.
If there was a smarter way to have done that without putting the biggest target on myself.
People are believing.
That's true. And you know what? All of the credit to Hana in the world, because she put herself out there and she got the faction together within the last 40 seconds. And I hated her for it. I didn't actually hate her for it. But like, I was sitting so good up until she did that. And that's where passive play gets you. Or that's where passive play can get you. Like, yeah, I survived the round, but by playing passive, I let others dictate the action, and I just hope that I'd be included. And for the most part, I was, up until I wasn't, and that's the one that went through. So at this point, Hana was my... So, okay, up to this point, I had been suspecting... I mean, not that it's anything crazy, but I've been suspecting that Hudson and Dante were working together. But now, my sights turned off Dante and towards Hana, but I was still looking at Hudson because Hudson was seemingly like, I don't want to say doing nothing, but like the way that it seemed like he was doing nothing, it was perfectly positioned. It's like, okay, he's good. If he is constantly being included, like, he was being... he was in a really good spot, and I wanted to be in that spot. You know what I mean? Like, he was in the spot that I wanted to be in myself. So I was targeting him, and now I was targeting Hana. But I don't have that many numbers to do it.
I've done that without putting the biggest target on myself.
People are believing my sob story. I'm acting like the wounded warrior. They put me in 14 million riot. No, you can't take me out. Like, nah, not gonna happen. I'm out here surviving. I know Ethan is probably playing the best game right now. He's shady. He gotta go.
I literally.
I don't know if I was playing the best game at this point. I don't think you could say I was. I was playing a good survival game where I was being included a lot and I wasn't being eradicated, but my passivity was becoming a problem because I can count on myself to keep myself safe, but my allies kept losing riots, and there's nothing I can do when we're in the riot, but I could have done more to stop them from. Well, okay, maybe I could have done more with Maximo if I had thrown myself in there, but then, you know, I'm still gonna lose. I'm losing an ally that in the second round no matter what. Third round, it is unlucky that Jess went out. Everyone went into the riot. This is the first time where it really felt like I could have done something and I didn't. But I wasn't too worried about it yet, but it was about to become really dire, if that makes sense.
Played that round intentionally to let people put proposals out that would bother people, and that certainly happened. I was literally just sitting there with my drink, watching the event. It was so funny. It was confrontations, it was everything, and honestly, at the very end, Hana, like, wow, I've not played really or talked with Hannah at all, and she just kind of united all the people who were being left out of these proposals, and we ended up being safe, and that is just the brilliance of the game. It's like, oh my god, like, a non-alliance is sometimes the smartest alliance. So thank you, Hana. Yay!
Oh
my god, this is fun. Stressful. Wish me luck.
Yeah, so that is probably like the biggest turning point of the game so far. I don't want to keep saying the same thing, so I'll keep it brief, but up to this point now, so everybody left. Everyone has been in at least 2 riots now, with VC going into 3. I've got 2 riot wins. I don't know if you can count that one as a win, but I'm going to. I think it counts as a win for everyone involved, but I went first, so just kidding. That doesn't really matter. But yeah, I really thought that playing passive was the smart play here, and I think it was. But, I mean, knowing what I know now, I should have fought for VC. But I don't blame myself for not doing it so much because I didn't realize that Modern was being attached to our group, which made it look like we were a 4. So it's like, I wish I had gone for VC, but I don't blame myself for not realizing. But I mean, like, maybe if I was better, I would have realized. So I can't go blameless. But I don't know. I don't think I was playing bad. But I do think that my position is now struggling. Because that is 3 episodes in a row that I had lost an ally. Like, at this point, it really only felt like I had Miles. Even though Modern was being grouped with us, I felt like Miles was my only ally I had left. And when we're at the final, 8 now? And I have 1 ally? and there's 6 other people, that's not the greatest. It's not the greatest spot. But we'll just have to see how I do next time, and the time after that, maybe. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.